Hey guys, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. Thank you so much for subscribing. So many of you guys are new here. And what I do is educate as many of you as I possibly can when it comes to eyebrows. Because let's face it, it is one of the toughest things to, I don't know if to master, because, you know, it's like yoga, right? You're forever practicing. At least that's what I hear. I don't do yoga, but that's what I hear, that you're always going to try to get better at it. So that's what what eyebrows are. It's something that you may not master, but you know what? There's certainly something that you can get, just little tips here and there can make a big difference for your eyebrows, right? So I'm here to make your life easier when it comes to eyebrows. I have been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years at the Anastasia Salon in Beverly Hills. So I still shape eyebrows there. So if you're ever in LA, coming to LA, please stop by, make an appointment and get your brows done by yours truly. I will show you the best brow for you and give you some tips. Now that's priceless. Okay, so again, thank you for subscribing. And if you're not already, please do so. What I do here, what I have been doing is showing you guys the clients that I shape eyebrows for at the salon. And what I want to do now is to hope that you guys can relate with this eyebrow or all the other eyebrows that I have posted on a weekly basis. So scroll down. If you feel like that's the brow that's more like you, then check it out. Learn the tips as much as you can and let me know if you've gotten something out of this. And it helps me. It helps me to know whether you liked it or maybe not. I don't know. So this client, I think, has very nice eyebrows, actually. You're going to be like, wait a minute, what can she possibly fix on these pretty eyebrows? Believe it or not, she used to have very full eyebrows, and she decided, you know what, I'm going a little thinner. So she went a little thinner for a while, and during COVID, she thought, well, why not? For 2 years, I'm going to just grow the eyebrows out and see how full it gets. Well, trust me when I tell you, after about 6 months to a year, if you're not getting more of what you already have, you're not going to get any more, especially as we mature. Ladies, I'm in my 50s, so trust me when I tell you, the hair just doesn't grow back. It's the follicles, right? You want to keep them as healthy as possible, but follicles just slowly dissipate. You know, they don't work. Some of them die off. It's like eyelashes. I usually tell my clients, you don't have as many eyelashes as you did when you were younger. So it's the same with eyebrow hair. Obviously, same with our head of hair. We lose hair as we age. So what we can do is not over tweeze. We don't have to prematurely cause your eyebrows to thin. So no need to help it out. But we can certainly keep it as healthy as possible. You're going to see this before and after towards the end. So please stick with me. Stick with me throughout the whole video. So that way you can pass along maybe someone you know with these tips. So without further ado, let's look at this model. Again, like I said, pretty good eyebrows, right? And I'm going to make an outline to show you guys where I'm going to shape the eyebrows, where she doesn't need eyebrow hair anymore. And right here, here's the white outline, right? So as you can see on me, I went ahead and just kind of thinned out my eyebrows because I'm going to also fill my brows in a little bit with some powder because I put some concealer over an old brow tattoo. So you're going to see a little bit of darker color on me, but it's going to look more natural on her, I promise. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to create an outline right up in the front. The front is really important because you want that fullness. And I'm not suggesting to be square, but the outline just helps to prevent taking too much hair out. So this is a really good tip for you. Create that outline, and whatever hair that's not in that outline is where you could tweeze, right? And most of her thickness, if you remember seeing it before it was outlined, it's right at the tip, right up here. That's where most of her eyebrow hair is. But she has a few grown out underneath. And when I wax off that bottom part underneath that outline, it's going to make a huge difference. Trust me. And again, like I can make my outline just to show you guys by creating this outline like so, like I did for her. Then that's when I'm like, okay, I can tweeze off anything underneath that white outline. So there you go. Pretty cool, right? I'm now just waxing all the hairs actually right underneath that that outline right there. So look at that. It's important to get it waxed even though you don't have a fully grown or thick hair underneath that outline, because when you wax not you, When a professional waxes the hair fuzz and the unwanted or the hairs that you don't need, or at least the expert thinks like myself that does not, you don't need it, it creates a nice, cleaner, thicker look. And you'll know what I mean once I take off that outline, okay? So look at all that hair I left behind. Pretty good, right? And it doesn't look like, ooh, it's unkept or messy. Now I'm tweezing just extra pieces of hair. Tweezing is important because it really finalizes the shaping. Of course, the tweezing from yours truly. Okay, so look at that. Pretty good, right? And like I said, I left all of those hairs underneath the main thickness on the top, and she could just wear this and go like nice and natural, right? But of course, we're gonna do some makeup. Now, I'm gonna reapply the outline with this eyebrow, and it's so much easier because what I'm gonna do is I typically use a highlighter first. You guys see me do this plenty of times now if you are already subscribing. What I like to do is do the highlighter first. Now, you don't have to do this highlighter first. You can do it, you know, in the middle or after, or middle, or beginning, middle, and after. It's just kind of like makeup. You can't go wrong with this. But if you notice on her eyebrows, by doing the outline first, you're creating kind of a border. See, with that brush 18, my favorite brush, these are all by Anastasia Beverly Hills, the products that is. And by putting the highlighter underneath, it kind of helps. It separates the skin from the eyebrow. It already tells you or gives you that kind of guideline or stencil, if you will. Causes it to be much, I mean, it helps you to make it much easier to fill the brows in now. And like I said, you can go back and, you know, fix anything that comes or goes out of that little highlighter outline. Okay, so you know what? She could wear this and be perfect, right? Nice and full, clean, and she's got a nice shaped eyebrow. I'm using the ash brown powder on her. It's a perfect shade. One is lighter than the other if you are already using our dual powder. I like a mid-tone sometimes, but I'm going to use the light side of the ash brown powder because I'm going to do the front side always should, or at least in my opinion, should be lighter. And notice the brush is going side by side, laying down, because you want the brush to be nice and sharp. If you lay it this way head on, then you're going to flare out the brush. It doesn't keep the brush as sharp as it can be. So very important to lay it down. Now, because I want that outline to be started, what I did, well, I left that first outline for you, but I'm just kind of barely touching her eyebrows. Honestly, you guys can see by her hair and skin, there's not a lot of pressure. If I put a lot of pressure, you would see her skin move a lot more. So by applying very light pressure, you're getting the color just right where it needs to be, right? Just right where that pocket is. Now, this is important. Notice I combed the hair down. A lot of times we forget to fill the top area. Now, when you fill in that area where the root grows out, when you brush it down, you fill that area in, you're going to create much more of a fuller eyebrow that looks more natural. It's not overdrawn where you can tell. Notice that the brush is going down. If you're dragging the brush down, you get a fuller coverage and you get the coverage inside your eyebrow hair. Now I'm going up in the front. Make sure you go up in the front, even though she doesn't need much color there, so that way that the brow powder is more blended into the hair. It's all about blending too, because you don't want to see color and then hair. You want it to see like it's all blending in together. And also you want to be able to see the hair. But now you want to comb. Use a spoolie brush. Make sure you always use it because this also spills out the color and blends it more into the hair. So you're brushing it down and you're combing it up just like that, and you're not applying too much pressure, just very little. Now again, keep in mind I use that light color, and if you feel like you need more color, you could always go to the darker color or the darker side of the powder. And I'm just going to fill it in a little bit more here on myself as I am doing on her. Look at that. Now what's the most important thing I want to tell you guys right here? You can see the hair. That's very important, you guys. When you put so much color on and the hair disappears, but you just see color, it's not very natural, right? And notice I went back to the brush 18 and just kind of corrected any mistakes or made it more polished. Now, The brow gel here, very important. Why? Because you want the hair to kick up and stay up there more at an angle. It keeps the brows looking more polished. You can see the strands of hair, and honestly, it makes the hair look fuller. And you know, after you put the brow gel on, you can actually go back to the powder and apply a little bit of hair strokes, because it's a little wet now, so you can get little hair strokes up in the front if you feel like you need a little bit more depth, right? So this is just optional. You don't have to do this, but notice that the brush is this way now. It's not laying down. It's just going up and down, kind of creating these little hair strokes. And I always use a spoolie brush. Just, you know, I'm sure you guys already do that too, right? Okay, so you're gonna see in just a minute the 3 before and afters. I say 3 because you're gonna see one that has no color on. Look at that. The middle one has no color, but just nicely shaped. The top, of course, is the before and after. Look at the after. I mean, that's so much fun. But honestly, you guys, if you go to a professional like myself, you can get it properly waxed and still keep some hairs that you grew out. You don't have to take all those hairs that you spent so much time growing out. If it's properly waxed and all the fuzz gets taken off, you would get a nice clean look like this. And look at that. So much easier to put the makeup on at the bottom. So please let me know if this tip helps. If you guys spend some time growing out your eyebrows and you're not quite sure which ones to take out, what to leave, definitely ask me. You guys, there's so many great professionals out there I know can help wax off all the fuzz hair. It just creates such a thicker, nicer look. So if you haven't tried that, definitely try that, okay? So, and let me know what you think, and definitely subscribe, because that way every week you guys will get the models that I shape eyebrows at the salon and see if you can relate with them. And if you can't, I know you know someone that can relate and can use this tip, so please pass this along. Thank you so much again for your support. Subscribe if I haven't already said that, and give me a like if you like this series. Again, this just helps me to continue to create some more content and better content as well. So thank you, and I will see you guys right back here.